am expecting one question from AS17. And I know which question. Huh? You know AS17? That too I also know. You know segment. You are acquainted with AS17? Now I need to only inform you whatever question is important. There are 3 points. There I will say 2 points from which question will come. 2 points. First, so let us discuss what they say. Ki segment reporting. So every business should divide their entire entity in 2 type of segment. One is known as business segment. One is known as geographical segment. In simple word, I will say, because they will not ask theory question, they will not ask the meaning. So in simple word, I will say business segment is based on product. Based on product. So suppose they have different type of product. So each product may be a different business segment. For example, I have 3 types of products: CA Final FR, CA Inter Advanced Accounting, and suppose I don't teach CA Foundation. Suppose I teach CA Foundation principle. What is there? A principle of foundation account. ऐसा ना? Accounting, principle of accounting, whatever, fundamental principle of accounting. So suppose I am teaching that also. So I have 3 products. So I have 3 business segment. I have a 3 business segment. Second, geographical segment is based on location. Suppose I am teaching in Chennai, Hyderabad, and I also I used to teach in Kolkata. So it become my 3 locations. 3 locations. So I have 3 geographical segment. So 3 business segment, 3 geographical segment. Understood? Now what after that AS17 says that out of your business segment and geographical segment, one will be primary segment, one will be secondary segment. Now which one will be primary, which will be secondary, that will be given the question. That will be given the question, means that is actually based on management choice. Which one is primary, which one is secondary, that will be given in the question. Means we are not supposed to fight for that. Correct? However, if you want to understand which one will be primary, which one will be secondary, that is based on the dominant source of risk and return. If the dominant source of risk and return is product, then your business segment will be primary, geographical segment will be secondary. Okay. If the dominant source of risk and return is location, then your primary will be geographical, secondary will be business. If both are dominant source of risk and return, then it can be either as per the choice of management, means as per the information given the question. This will be informed from the question. You will be able to understand which one is primary, which one is secondary. Now, once you have identified primary, once you have identified secondary, so for primary, 7 disclosures are required. For secondary, 3 disclosures are required. So for primary, how many disclosures? 7. For secondary, how many disclosures? 3. So what disclosure that I will say? But after identifying primary and secondary, out of that we need to also identify reportable segment. For example, in business segment we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. These are segments. So what our AS70 says, all are not reportable. Out of these, there will be some reportable and some which are not reportable. So we need to identify which one is reportable. Suppose A, B, C is reportable. So we should disclose only information for A, B, C which are reportable. So we need to identify out of business segment which are reportable segment, out of geographical segment which are reportable segment. This is the first question which is very important. Ki identification of reportable segment. From this one question may be asked. Now they have given how many criteria to find out reportable segment? 4 criteria. Out of 4, 2 is important from exam point of view. Out of 4, 2 is important from exam point of view. Correct? Understood? The first criteria is based on QT. QT means quantitative threshold. Understood? So what AS70 says that if any of the segment satisfy any of the following QT criteria, it becomes reportable. So they have given 3 QT criteria. One is based on segment revenue, second is based on segment result, third is based on segment asset. First is based on segment revenue, second is based on segment result, third is based on segment asset. Now what they said, if segment revenue is 10% or more of total segment revenue, then that segment will be reportable. So any segment whose segment revenue is 10% more of total segment revenue, that segment will be reportable. Now here segment revenue means external revenue plus inter-segment revenue. So any revenue which is inter-segment generated, that will be also revenue for the purpose of this segment revenue. Understood? Then based on segment result, they said that any segment whose segment result is 10% more of combined result in terms of profit or combined result in terms of loss, whichever is greater in absolute terms. Have you understood this point? Have you understood? I think you have understood because you have done, correct? But here student can do mistake. His segment result is 10% more of combined result in terms of profit or combined result in terms of loss, whichever is greater in absolute term. I will explain, don't worry. Okay? Third is based on segment asset. It means what? Any segment whose segment asset is 10% more of total segment asset. So these are the criteria. Understood? Let me take one question. Let me take one question. This is suppose this question. Question 10. Happy Good Limited has 6 segments, namely LQ. The total revenue, internal, external, profit and loss, and the asset are given. So inter-segment sale is given, external sale is given. We'll find out total. We need to combine now. So we need to find out segment revenue. Segment revenue is this plus this. Then they give segment result. Then they give segment total asset. Happy Good Limited need to determine how many reportable segment it has. You are required to advise Happy Good as per the criteria in AS 17. Okay. So first, can I say we'll find out what is the total of these two. $45,750. Okay, and you should find out total, and you should find out the segment result in terms of total revenue, total segment revenue. So you need to find out percentage. The percentage, of course, you can calculate. Means this plus this divide by this, how much? Batao. For L, you can calculate now. Means better. I'll keep you in writing. You will be able to understand. This plus this, how much? 4,200 plus 12,300 divided by. So this is divided by 45,750. How much? So 36.66K. Correct. Same thing you can do for all. Same thing you can do for all. And this you can write down for all. Now anyone who is having 10% more will become reportable. So this is reportable. This is reportable. This is reportable. This is reportable. So L, M, O, P are reportable. Understood? But presentation is very important. This presentation, they will give marks for presentation, how you are writing. Okay? Now coming to profit and loss. So first in this case, what you will do? First you should do total of segment profit. 3,000 plus 1,500 plus 900 plus 600. How much? 6,000, correct? Then you should do total of loss. 1,500 plus 750. How much? 2,000. But which one is greater in absolute term? What do you mean by absolute term? Absolute term is ignoring negative sign. Okay, this become greater. A loss can be also more because we are ignoring negative sign. So this become your benchmark. Now you need to calculate the percentage in terms of total profit. In terms of total profit. So 3,000 divided by 6,000, 1,500 divided by 6,000, 1,500 divided by 6,000, 750 divided by 6,000, like this. You can find out percentage, This will be this percentage. You can calculate now. So all are reportable. You can see all are reportable. So all are reportable because one satisfied. But then also segment asset you need to show. So segment asset also you can do this by this, this by this. You can find out. And this is the percentage. In this you can see all are except last L, M, N, O, P are reportable. Because can you say all segment asset, all segment is satisfying one of the criteria, therefore all become reportable. All become reportable. And therefore all are reportable segment, you can write down. Chalega? Okay, sir. Okay, chalo. This you have understood. Now in this criteria 2 what says ki management discretion. This is not so much important from exam point of view. What they say कि any segment can be considered as reportable as per discretion of management. Means management want they can add any segment as a reportable segment. Then criteria 3 says what? कि any segment which was reportable in previous year as per quantitative threshold criteria that will be again reportable in current year even though it does not meet QT criteria. Even though it does not meet QT criteria means suppose A, B, C, D. Suppose in the previous year this was reportable, this was reportable, this was reportable based on QT criteria and this was not reportable. Now in the current year this is reportable, this is reportable, this is not reportable, this is not reportable as per QT criteria. Then also can you say this will be reportable? Why? Because this was reportable in previous year as per QT criteria. Understood? So in the current year, A, B, C will be reportable even though C does not meet QT criteria. Understood? Chalega. Then in this last one is also important. Last one is also important. What they are saying? Ki if the total external revenue reported by segment constitute less than 75% of entity's revenue, then additional segment should be added, identified as reportable segment until at least 75% of entity's revenue is included in reportable segment. Have you understood this point? Understood? Understood? Okay. This I will explain because till now they have not given so much importance, but can be. Just try to suppose A, B, C, D, E. The segment revenue they have given 10,000, 5,000, 2,000, 1,000 and suppose 500. Understood? Correct? What is the total of this? 18,500. Okay. 15,000 divided by 18,500, how much? I will add. Now it is total how much? How much? 22,500. Now 15,000 divided by 22,500, how much? Chalo, my job done. Now this is the question given. Only revenue. Now can you give me the percentage revenue? 10,000 divided by this. Give me percentage. This is 44.40. Then 22.2. Huh? 5,000 divided by this. 22.20. Then 8. Then now can you say this will not be reportable? Understood? So this is reportable. This is reportable as per the QT criteria. Means as per the first point. Now what AS17 is saying, this much you understood? So as per quantitative threshold only A and B are reportable. Now what they are saying, the external sale of reportable segment should constitute at least 75% of entity's revenue. So this becomes 15,000, correct? But this is how much of this? 22,500. This is coming how much percentage? 66 point. Means can you say it is not meeting the last criteria because it should be at least 75% of total external sale. Therefore, additional segments should be identified so that the reportable segment constitute at least 75% of external sale. Understood? It means can you say we should add some, means for 75% how much sale is required, but the into 75% how much? 16,875. Already we have how much? 15,000. So how much difference we have? 1,875. So can you say we can include C? If we include C, can you say that criteria is applied or not? So we'll include C, and after including C, the external sale will constitute 75% of total external sale. But that this last criteria is only for external sale, not for inter-segment sale. So you need to only check what external sale criteria. Understood? So this can be also asked in exam. Understood this point? Correct? Yes, sir. So this also you have understood. This was what? Your reportable segment. One question of this nature may be asked. Second, disclosure requirement. So for disclosure requirement, I have already said primary, secondary. For primary, how many information? 7. For secondary, how many information? 3. So what are that 7 information that we need to understand? So for primary, we should disclose first segment revenue. First disclose the segment revenue. Second is what? Segment result. We should disclose segment result. Third, segment asset. Then segment liability, and then there are 3 other disclosure, that is capital expenditure, depreciation and amortization expense, and other non-cash expenses. So these are the 7 disclosure. Can you repeat with me? First is what? Segment revenue, then segment result, then segment asset, then segment liability, then segment capital expenditure, then segment depreciation, then segment other non-cash expenses. These are 7. But whenever we disclose, we should also reconcile all the information with balance sheet SOPL. Therefore, in exam, they will ask disclosure with reconciliation. Disclosure with reconciliation. So how to present this format I have drawn. So this will be your reportable segment. First, we write on revenue. In revenue, write on external revenue, inter-segment revenue, any other operating income. This become your segment revenue. But can you see this include inter-segment revenue also? But in SOPL, inter-segment revenue will not come, so we'll deduct for reconciliation purpose. So from this we'll deduct inter-segment revenue, and this will be revenue as per SOPL for reconciliation purpose. Have you understood the disclosure requirement? Second, we write on result. First, we write on segment result. Segment result will be given in the question. But can you see this total result will not match with SOPL? Because there will be many expense or many income which is not segment wise, so that deduction will also do. So here we'll deduct interest expense which is not segment wise, we'll deduct head office expense which is not segment wise, we'll include some income which is not segment wise, means that is not allocated income, that is unallocated income. So this will become profit before tax. From that we deduct tax, current tax or deferred tax. This become profit for the period. Understood? Means all the information will be given in the question, only to write down in this particular format. Then we should write on asset. First we write on segment non-current asset, segment current asset. This will become total segment asset. But this will not match with the balance sheet total asset. So there will be many unallocated asset. For example, head office building, etc. Investment cannot be segment wise. So all that will be added. For example, DTA cannot be segment wise. So DTA, investment, unallocated asset, this will become total asset which will match with the balance sheet. Then we write on equity liability. So first we write on segment liability as per the information given the question. So segment liability will be written. But this will not match with the total liability. So we'll do some adjustment, some reconciliation. So we'll add unallocated liability or deferred tax liability. So this will become total liability, and this will also add equity, share capital, and reserve and surplus also. Because then only total asset will match with total equity and liability. So we'll also add share capital, reserve and surplus. This will become total equity and liability. So reconciliation required only for the first 4. Means reconciliation required for segment revenue, segment result, segment asset, and segment liability. For this capital expenditure, depreciation, and other non-cash expenses, no reconciliation is required. Then for secondary segment report, we need to disclose three information without reconciliation. Here also we will not do any reconciliation. We need to disclose external sale, not inter-segment sale. We'll disclose only external sale. Then we'll disclose segment asset and then segment capital expenditure. Only these three items: segment, external sale, capital expenditure, and segment asset. Okay. Let me take one question. This question, if they ask, this will be of 10 marks. This is a very popular question. Normally they ask this question in exam. Prepare segment report for the publication in Diversify Limited from the following details. They have given foreign shop division, sales to Bright Bar division. So this become inter-segment sale. Other domestic sale, it become external sale. Export sale, this also become external sale. Then Bright Bar division, sales to fitting division, this become inter-segment sale. Export sale to Rwanda, this become external sale. Then fitting division, this is export sale to Maldives, this is also what? External sale. So these are the information given. Chalega. Then they have given some particular head office wise, then division wise, means segment wise. So pre-tax operating result, so they have given segment result they have given. Then head office cost reallocated they have given, correct? Then interest cost they have given. Then they have given fixed asset, head fees, and segment wise they have given. Non-current asset, net current asset they have given head office and segment wise. And long-term liability they have given head office and segment wise. So how to disclose this, that we need to understand. So I will say in this format you can put. So there are three divisions. So write down three divisions. What are the divisions? First is what? Foreign shop division, then Bright division, then fitting division. So write down division 1, 2, and 3. Written. Then in this first write down external sale. You can add down. Then add down inter-segment sale. You can add down. And then this will become total sale. From that you minus inter-segment sale. So that become reconcile with SOPL. Okay. Now in the result they have already given segment result. You can see segment result is given 240, 30, and 12. Then the head office cost will be used for reconciliation purpose. So you can make a total of this and minus from reconciliation. Then interest cost will be also used for reconciliation. You can do total of this and minus for reconciliation. That become profit for the year, and that will be reconciled with the SOPL. Understood? Then fixed asset you can add on 300, 60, and 80. Then you will add 75 for reconciliation. That will become total asset. And in this also you need to add net current asset also 180, 60, and 135. And this will be what? 2 for reconciliation purpose. And liability also you'll do 30, 15, 180, and this 57 is for reconciliation. Correct. In this, just try to understand, they have given division, but they have given all information, means all the information for product wise. It means, can I say your secondary segment will be location wise? So you can see they have given some export sale and domestic sale. Export sales and domestic sale. So what you'll do, external sale domestic wise and export sale wise, you write down in your secondary segment. So you can see what they have done. Ki sales revenue by geographical market, home sales, export sale, exports to Rwanda, export to Maldives. They have given external sale and they have given this. This is what your secondary information. So this become your primary information. This become your secondary information. Very popular question. This type of question can be asked. Okay. Balance all question you can do it.